Hi everyone, welcome to your week. This is going to be your weekly energy forecast for the week of the 22nd through the 28th. And I'm going to do this live, so I'm going to allow for some of you to come in while I give the cards a good shuffle. I'll talk to you a little bit about what we're starting off with. Of course, we are carrying in the solar eclipse energy and the new moon in Cancer energy, which is all about rebirth. It's all about the beginning of a new 6-month cycle. Okay, it's like an opening. So I welcome you in. Thank you for being here. Hola, hola to all of you. Now you might hear some noise. I have my neighbors are having some work done in their house. It's Monday, so just know that we have all these retrogrades happening too. And yes, my boy just walked in right there. So you'll see we'll have these sort of little hiccups and mishaps, especially when we have Mercury that went into retrograde. It gives us all these surprises with communication and, electronics, the car. Just when you're trying to communicate things like this, little annoyances with the noise outside, will come up. But that's okay because it doesn't stop the message from coming through. So as we start this week, like I said, we're still experiencing the very potent energy of the solar eclipse and the new moon in Cancer, which we will see this cycle kind of unfold in the next 6 months until December 29th or so, okay? Now this week we also have other aspects happening which you might not hear about so much or have so much emphasis put on, like Neptune going into retrograde and then Venus stationing direct. Okay, so we've had Venus in retrograde for the past 40 days. So this has been a lot of introspection when it has to do with relationships, our money, our wealth, okay, beauty, anything that has to do with love and relationships has definitely been under the, it's been in the radar for all of us. But with this Neptunian aspect happening this week, it is powerful, okay, but it's a more subtle energy, okay? Neptune rules our dreams, our intuition. It's the ruler planet of Pisces. So, there's going to be a lot of looking at these dreams that we've been dreaming for a long time, and maybe even investing a lot of our time and effort into those. And there's going to be a lot of questioning as to, do you want to keep going in that direction, or is it just one of those things that you should just let go and let it be? Now we have another aspect that is going to be kind of fueling the fire of wanting to keep fighting, which is Mars going into its home sign of Aries, and it's going to be happening this weekend. So it goes to its home sign. It is the planet of action and the divine masculine and war and passion and all those things, leadership. So there's still going to be that kind of like fighting for that which holds a lot of value for you. Okay, so let's see what the themes are going to be this week. I know I kind of like ran long in that explanation, but I hope that you all take away some good information so that you just have the awareness of what is happening. in the planets, in the astrology. Thank you for being here. So let's see what the themes are going to be for this week. I'm using the Inner Gaia Oracle by Keisha Luna Muna. You can find her on Instagram. And I'm gonna pick some cards here. Let's see. We have patterns, the karmic cycles that I was speaking about last week. Okay, this solar eclipse had a lot to do with that. Okay, it's like a clearing of karmic cycles, a clearing of the karma. Okay, it marks a beginning and a rebirth, but it also brings an awareness to the self, because it is a solar eclipse. So it's not like the lunar ones where it's all about the emotions, although we had it happening in the sign of Cancer, which definitely is going to bring a lot of sensitivity and, you know, maybe even a lot of just unforeseen crying this week. So we have this card of patterns, which is talking about something that is repeating, something that is coming back up to our awareness so that we can observe. Okay, so what is this that is repeating in our lives, for us to be able to finally integrate the lesson? Okay, because what happens is that these things keep coming up. Okay, if we don't actually learn and then follow through by saying, okay, this is what I learned from the situation, now let me put it into practice. And that's how it actually breaks the cycle, right? Let's see what else comes through. So patterns coming up this week. Wow, okay, so we have divine intervention, which is a card about transitions, okay, detours, divine detours, things that are unforeseen that come up to break these cycles and to kind of like tell us, you know what, you cannot stay in the same place that you've been. Somehow you have to move. Somehow Spirit wants to guide you to the things that really are meant for you. Okay, so this talks about unforeseen life changes and the test of fate. Not fate, but faith. Okay, so we have these two cards so far, patterns and divine intervention. So it's almost like we haven't integrated the lesson. We haven't really learned, paid off that karma. And we've been repeating this cycle, going around and around on it, okay, in it. And divine intervention comes through as Spirit wanting to remove us from that situation and actually create change where maybe we wouldn't have created the change, okay? Now, the other card that came flying out was the card of time off, okay? And this talks about feeling drained, feeling overworked, maybe feeling a disconnect from, you know, yourself, from your mind, or the need to actually go ahead and unplug, you know, so that you have that time to renew yourself. Because this is a card of very much like the Ten of Wands, you know, that card that tells you, you know, if you're not careful, you can actually have some sort of burnout, okay? So these are the three themes that are coming through this week, okay? Patterns that we've been repeating, Spirit coming through saying that we are going through this transition and it might test our faith. These are life changes that we couldn't literally have imagined for ourselves, okay? And they come to create this change and to break that pattern, okay? And then also that card of time off, taking time to disconnect, unplug, renew, replenish, and get more of a, it's like disconnecting to reconnect, okay? To reconnect to yourself, and of course to spirit, mind, body, and soul, okay? Now let's see what comes through with the tarot cards this week. I had already shuffled, so let's pick 5 cards. Okay, these cards are wanting to jump out: the King of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Three of Cups. Okay, so let's start with these two, the King of Wands and the High Priestess, okay? The King of Wands is that very determined, very confident, and courageous person. It could be that, being the first card coming out, this could be a card that represents you right now, and that wanting to maintain the vision of what it is that you want for yourself, and actually taking action with courage to go for it, okay? Now with the High Priestess, this could be advising you, okay, to keep things to yourself, to really connect to what your heart is telling you, and to listen to your own guidance, okay? And I couldn't stress this enough. I always do, and you'll hear me say that a lot. I'm always going to root for you to listen to that voice within yourself, okay? And this is the voice that wants the best for you. This is you know, the voice of the higher self, the voice of the evolved version of you, okay? Now, with the Three of Cups, there is a reunion, sort of a celebratory feeling with this card. But there's a sense of, a very strong sense of community, okay, when you get that Three of Cups. So this could be talking about friendships and associations that are of a high vibration, that bring you to a place of enhancing your life instead of you know, keeping you down or keeping you stuck, okay? These are people that believe in your dreams, that want to see you succeed, okay? So really pay attention to the people that you surround yourself with. It's very important in this times where, you know, divine intervention is coming through. It's almost like the Tower card, that unforeseen change coming in surprisingly and unexpectedly to actually help you move along, okay? Where maybe you couldn't make a decision for yourself and were stuck in some sort of pattern and cycle, repeating it over and over. This is, you know, this is a light that shines through to really give you the clarity that you need to move on. Now, with the card of time off being here, it's also like taking that time to, you know, be with people that are of a high vibration. And if, of course, we're talking that, you know, it's talking about reunion and people that lift you up. This might not be actually being in physical contact with anyone because of this, you know, the gravity of the pandemic and the times that we are living in. But it is about connecting to community, to like-minded people, okay? Now let's see what else, because it's, you know, one of the themes that's coming through is it's feeling overworked, feeling overwhelmed, feeling like things aren't moving, like you're drained mentally and physically and spiritually, okay? Let's see what comes through. Let's get 2 more cards and we'll look at the bottom of the deck. All right, so we have the moon. So a lot of Neptune this week, and Like I said before, we have Neptune going into retro this week. So here we go with the moon. You know, the moon speaks about cycles. We're starting the week with this new start, a fresh new beginning with the new moon in Cancer. How are we going to use that? Are we going to let ourselves be brought down by very strong emotions? Okay, and you know, I really feel like this is why the Three of Cups is coming through, because it feels very emotional this week. And I know that we just had Father's Day yesterday in the United States. I don't know if, you know, in other parts of the world where you are, but we observed Father's Day yesterday, and I know that is a trigger for a lot of people collectively. Okay, not everybody has a wonderful relationship with their father, and you know, I can tell you from experience, my kids, you know, they have a strange relationship with that day because their dad is no longer with us here physically, and you know, it could be emotional for many people. People being away from their loved ones, also not being able to have a you know, a nice celebration. So I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, it made me think about that, because I know people could be away from their children in this day, and it could be hard, it could be triggering for many in different ways. Maybe because you don't have that good relationship, maybe because you are, like I said, at a distance, or maybe because you've lost this father figure in your life. So the dealing of the deep emotions and the sensitivities, it's going to be really good to you know, be able to count on people that really have a positive view on life, and that can help you through those moments and through those sensitivities and whatever it is that you're feeling so intensely. Okay, so the moon, like I was talking about before, talks about the things that are beneath the surface, maybe things that are not being spoken. But also, since we have the card of patterns, it talks about cycles repeating, maybe trauma not being dealt with in the right way. You know, things that have been stuffed down for a long time. And maybe now with this Three of Cups, it could be that you find that you have more people that you can talk to and that you can connect to, even if it's not in person. People that could really help you to see things in a different point of view. Okay, so let's get one more card for the week. Now, there is a sense of illusion with the moon as well, and things not being exactly how they seem. Okay, so there's that. All right, so we have the Page of Swords come through, and this is a card of curiosity, you know, wanting to learn more, and you know, maybe needing more information about things. So it could be that you're trying to really work through these emotions, but I feel like it is a way of almost bringing clarity to a situation when the Page of Swords comes through, because it's a card of, you know, the pages are communicators. Okay, so with this card, I feel like I feel like there's that sense of that curious nature, wanting to find out, wanting to dig deeper. Okay. And with the High Priestess and the Moon being here, there could be a, a wanting to learn more and connect to more things that are in a spiritual nature. Also wanting to find out about these things that are hidden beneath the surface, things coming to light as well. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck and see what that gives us as an overall energy. Oh boy, the Five of Swords. Again, this guy is showing up. I mean, this is tension, and I feel it's almost like the confusion that you get because of the opposition of people around you. And with the Five of Swords is that conflict and tension with other people and having to have the last word. And almost like the need to win. But really with this card, it's like nobody wins. It's like an opposition and a fight that doesn't lead to anything. Okay? So that is coming up as the overall energy. So I don't know, a lot of sensitivity, like I said, this week. We have to go into the week with this almost like quiet determination and being, being very brave and holding the vision of what it is that we want for ourselves with confidence. Even if, with this High Priestess, we should keep it to ourselves, or it's something that we are secretly wanting to create for ourselves. It's about really connecting to what it is. What is that which you want, okay? Now, you might be really sure of what you want because the King of Wands is very confident in what they want. With the High Priestess, the guidance with the High Priestess is connecting to what your heart is telling you, what that higher voice is telling you. But also, this is about your spirit guides and your angels, because the High Priestess is between worlds, okay? So I really feel the presence of your angels and your guides wanting to come through for you this week. It could come in the form of people, earth angels, actually, like wanting to give you a helping hand and help you through any sort of transition or life change that you're going through, to help you to feel more light hearted, bring some fun and bring some joy because of this card of feeling drained and overworked, maybe feeling that physical disconnection, needing that time off, listening to your body as well. And with the Moon, the guidance is, again, to listen to your intuition. Don't let yourself get bogged down by the very heavy emotions, okay? There's something here that wants to come to light, and it might at the end of the week with this Page of Swords, which it's almost like light bulb moments, okay, that come through. And it could come in the way of a message or a sign, or it could be you trying to dig a little bit more and then really finding out some things about yourself. It could be about this introspection with this time of card. It could be about trying to connect to yourself, and then messages coming through because you do. I also want to guide you this week to not get pulled into other people's drama and sensitivities. If you could help someone and be of service, of course. But I feel a little bit of this energy of energy vampires and people that they're attracted to your good energy, and they bring you into a lower vibration, okay, because of the way that they think, their mindset, or with this Five of Swords, I'm getting that, Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna pull a couple of cards from the chakra healing cards. And with that, I'll wrap it up. Let's see what comes through for this week. Okay. So we already have 2 cards that came through. We have self-mastery. Wow, what a great card. When I was just speaking about that, don't let people pull you into their drama or to their negative ways of thinking or limited ways of thinking, or people that they just walk all over boundaries, okay? It's really important to have this self-mastery and this alignment, and this goes very well with the King of Wands card, okay? I'm gonna read a little bit from the book, but let's look at the other one. And then communication is coming through, and this looks a lot like telepathic communication, and it's almost like coming to enhance this message of the High Priestess, the Three of Cups, and the Moon. Okay, all elements of water. Okay, these are all ruled by water, and emotions. And what are really emotions? Okay, it's your ability, your psychic ability. It's your ability to connect to how you're feeling. Okay, so I feel like this is going to be a week that is going to highlight your own ability to connect to your own psychic gifts, okay? And we all have them. It's just not a lot of people tap into them. You might be somebody that lives in a place where you think about everything in a very logical and practical way, okay? But I can tell you, this is definitely speaking on how with like-minded people you can almost communicate in this way, telepathically, through your emotions, through feelings and thoughts, okay? So let's see what it says in the book. Gonna wear my glasses for a minute here. Thank you for being here, guys. Let's see what comes through with this card of self-mastery. Okay, so this card is ruled by the solar plexus, which has to do a lot with our confidence, okay, our bravery, our courage. So let's see what comes through. It says, you have pulled this card today to let you know this is a powerful time to manifest self-mastery. Life is constantly offering us lessons which give us the opportunity to grow and expand our soul. So we were talking about that at the beginning of this reading, because the card of patterns coming up. So these are the lessons that have not yet been integrated, and the cycles that keep presenting to us that spirit is guiding us to see and observe, so that we can actually break those cycles and learn the lessons and apply them. Okay, so It says the key here is to focus your energy on what would you like to master, and don't give up until you have embodied it fully. And I spoke to you about Neptune going retrograde and how that is going to bring the observation of dreams that we're not sure if we want to keep fighting for. But the fact that Mars is going into its home sign of Aries, it's going to, want us to keep in that fight. So there has to be like this very deep introspection to see if these are things that we're going to keep going for, or if there is something else that is calling us that really needs our attention. So it says, however, with consistency and time, it will come to fruition. Being blessed with this card today indicates that you are already on your way to mastering your gifts. Have you doubted yourself lately, or in any aspect of life, resulting in frustration? Collectively, this has been something that has affected us. It's affected all of us in one way or another. And obviously the frustration of feeling restricted by certain aspects, be it financial, or be it of work, or changing of circumstances, because this has shifted all of us collectively. So in one way or another, however it's affected you, I'm sure that it's come to this place where it's sort of mind-boggling, very much like this guy looks here. It's very it's almost like it gives you a headache. So let's continue. So it says, know that the current challenges you are undergoing are doorways for self-mastery. And, I can attest to this, because even though the awareness of the energy and the messages that channel through for me, I get tested and tested by circumstances and by people around me and situations that arise in life. And absolutely has to do with the energy this week. You're being tested, you're being put under some sort of pressure, and the sensitivity is so high. So I definitely want to tell you that with this King of Wands here, it's we got to remain strong, we got to remain confident that everything is happening in divine order. So it says, you are being encouraged to look at your life's mission. Plant the seeds required to bring you closer to your soul's path. Stay motivated. Remain in that vision. Stay motivated. It says, and dance in the mastery of yourself. And the affirmation here, and you can say it to yourself, looking at the mirror. Hello. Oh, thank you for saying that, you beautiful soul. Thanks so much. So it says, stay motivated and dance in the mastery of yourself. And the affirmation says, I am a master of my destiny. And last week I spoke about the importance of affirming yourself every day, making that a daily practice and a good habit for yourself to affirm yourself, to say to yourself the things that you are, not to believe everything that you have been taught and told to be. So I am the master of my destiny is the affirmation for this card of self-mastery. Now this card of communication definitely talks about the throat chakra. Okay, the color blue here coming through very strongly, and it is the first card for that chakra. And I was speaking about how this moment in time it's like we're waking up to this abilities, to these psychic powers that we all have. And this card to me looks about the communication that we can have with other people. And I'll tell you a quick story. My kids, the other day, they, my son, my youngest son, Ryan, he was telling me, Mom, I started humming this song and singing this song, and immediately Noah, which is my oldest son, started humming it too, but we did it at the same time, and we weren't listening to anything, and I'm like, well, do you think that maybe you were communicating telepathically to each other? He's like, I don't know, maybe. And I spoke to my son Noah, and he tells me, yeah, we weren't listening to that. We hadn't even done anything close to listening to that song together, and we just started doing it exactly at the same time. So, it's one of those things. So the card of communication, let's go. The throat chakra. It says, you are called upon this card today to let you know that it's an important time for communication. And the planet of communication is in retrograde right now, so it is important that with this card of the Page of Swords coming through, that you are looking at the fine print, that you are well informed when you are speaking, okay? That you're not speaking from a place that is fake, or that is not knowledgeable, okay? That you are just speaking out your behind, let's put it that way, okay? And just saying some BS out there. And this has to do a lot with I feel what we're being told in the news and what's going on with the current state affairs of the world. But anyway, let's go back to this. It says, all healthy connections and relationships are built on a solid base of good communication. It is easy to hold back and alter your words in order to prevent hurting someone's feeling. Fear of rejection or the possibility of creating some form of conflict. However, it's important that you share your thoughts and feelings honestly with those around you to create and build long-lasting and healthy relationships. It says, when you doubt or hinder or manipulate the flow of communication, which is what is coming through as the overall energy this week, the patterns that we are seeing in our own lives of how information is manipulated, or how we withhold our true feelings from people, and the hurt that causes in our own experience. Okay, so it says, take a moment to see if there is anyone in your life you are not communicating effectively with due to fear of rejection and maybe even an unwanted conflict. You are being encouraged at this time to speak up and share your feelings. Communication can also mean writing your feelings down on paper, which is also a good tool to use. Do what is required to take action and to bring your communication forth. You may even like to try some healing and clearing processes for your throat chakra. And it says, take some time and space for yourself, which is what this card is telling all of us. Okay, take some time for yourself to really reconnect to yourself and to your feelings, and what is it that you want to communicate. Okay, communication is also about listening. Make sure that as you communicate, you also listen with an open heart, without judgment, as you trust that you will feel a huge weight off your shoulders and a natural healing will occur. You will feel a deeper connection to yourself and those around you. Okay, so the affirmation for this card says, I communicate in all ways with ease and grace. Okay, so I communicate in all ways with ease and grace. I communicate in all ways with ease and grace. Okay, so this has been your collective reading for this week. I hope that, and as you can hear, we have the construction coming back. I hope that the message came through very clearly and that it serves you well. Have a wonderful week. You know that you can always reach out for readings, coaching, or anything else that I can be of service to you. Thank you for always favoring the work that I do, and have a great week. Okay, guys? Take care.